Okay, let's talk about a follow-on to my discussion on the framework that we can adopt to make sure that everybody's happy with their primary responsibilities. And this is how it ties into the Mandela Effect. Those of you who's been following my videos will know that I have quite a few theories regarding the Mandela Effect. One of them, I don't know if I've revealed this before in some of my previous vlogs, is that the collective consciousness as a body is aware. You know, like as you would have wave-particle duality, each individual consciousness is a particle, and on a global scale the collective consciousness is the wave attributes, of human consciousness. So when all the particles start to experience wave-like phenomena, that can be said to be the collective consciousness. Now the collective consciousness, if viewed in that manner, will behave like a wave, like a wave function. So and it is possible that it is aware of its future self. Now when it sees itself dying out, it reacts in the present, obviously. So the collective consciousness has seen an extinction event. Now there are many extinction events that we're expecting. There's the kill shot, CME, there is other natural disasters which could happen, and also meteors and asteroids and so forth. But there's one much closer to home, which is sexual deviation. I'm not going to preach or anything, and I don't want anybody to attack anyone. This is just my opinion and my theory. I have a right to believe in what I believe in if I can back it up scientifically. Now obviously in my previous video I touched on the matter of basically trying to get you to visualize what will happen if 100% of the population was to stop being heterosexual. If we all woke up one day and said, right, that's enough heterosexuality, no more of that. I just wanted you to visualize what that world would look like. That is an extinction event. I've taken the population of the United Kingdom as an example. At the moment the population is current population is 64 million, expected to grow to 7 million. Sorry, 70 million. So now I've set the gay rate, or the deviant rate I should call it, at 50%. If at the moment it's around 1%, but if it did get to 50%, the way that would affect the mortality rate and the birth rate, the birth rate will drop down to 55.55, mortality rate 0.82. I think these are current values. So the population over here will drop each year, and within 100 years, it would have got down to 800,000 people left in the UK. That's if only 50% of us became non-heterosexuals. At the moment it's around 1 to 10%. Nobody knows how high it is. So the population growth will go backwards. And you've noticed in the West, where we have a lot of sexual deviant behavior, populations in some of these countries in the West are dropping alarmingly. Like, the only reason why the European population and the American population is growing is because of non-European migrants. It's the migrants who are growing, but the native European and native Westerner, their population is dwindling. Like if you look at most countries in the West, the population of the native is falling alarmingly, to the point where if they carry on being free, the world will be free of them within 100 years or so. Now only people who are like strict religious, or those who believe in the fundamentals of heterosexuality, they're the only ones who survive. Yeah, everyone who's free and doesn't see why. We need to keep an eye on your growth. Yeah, if you're a sexual deviant, that means you're someone who's not heterosexual. We need to keep an eye on your growth. We're suffering here. Now, we don't need your population to grow beyond, I would say, well, 50% is worrying. So I would say beyond 10-20%. Because now, at 50%, I've assumed, I've gone with the birth rate and death rate as we have it right now. And I've basically factored in the deviant rate. Yeah. Now the birth rate, I haven't examined it on closer inspection, because obviously if we get down to this many people, 700,000, then the forces of nature take over. Things like mosquitoes, not in the UK though, but diseases that we die from will start to kill from a smaller sample. If you're in the third world country, if you're down to 700,000, mosquitoes kill more than that every year. So yeah, if the population of the world drops below a certain level, if it drops below 20 million, the mosquito will just wipe us out. And other diseases that we're dying from will just contribute to raising the death rate. Now, if you get to 100%, we're out in 100 years as a civilization, and this is what's causing the Mandela Effect, one of my theories, because the collective consciousness as a wave function is realizing that, hang on a minute, yeah, there is gonna be a decrease in individual particles, so it's a diminishing light. Yeah. So it can see itself in the future. I mean, light, if you observe it, it diffracts. Yeah, it diffracts into past and future, I believe, but we'll come to that. So the collective consciousness is aware of itself as a wave function in the future time, and it can see an extinction event, and it is sexual deviation that's causing it. Yeah. So as it's dying out, as we go towards the end, the way the end looks has to start to manifest. So if the end looks like everything's rubble, as we go towards the end, you start to see more and more rubble around in your surroundings until the end comes, until this. So as we go towards the end, that's what's causing the Mandela Effect. It's starting to change to the way the end will be. Yeah. So I'm not saying you should attack sexual deviance, but I'm just saying, you love promoting that kind of behavior, but mind that you don't go above a certain rate. You must agree to lose out. Yeah, you must agree to allow sexuality to flourish, to always be the majority, because we were the ones who produce the children that you're going to be targeting and preying upon to turn into your deviations. You don't produce children, so we're the ones who do that. So you must look after us, because if we die out, we're all gone. So you got to look after us. Yeah, and you have to agree not to allow your population, your deviant population, to be above a certain level. You have to agree. You can say to every time you promote yourselves, bear in mind that you're using techniques like marketing techniques, which are well known to have worked. Now, if what you're doing, the way you're promoting yourselves, works too well, yeah, and we go above this percentage here, we're out. Yeah. So try not to be too successful at what you're doing, so that we can be there forever. You know, you as a sexual deviant have to promote heterosexuality, because that's what you prey upon. That's like the tree of life. That, in fact, heterosexuality is, metaphorically speaking, the tree of life. Yeah, if you cut that down, you cut off life. Yeah, so don't eating too much into heterosexual behavior. You agree to stay at a certain, I'll keep it less than 10%. Nature, there's people who are born naturally deviant. Nature is not perfect. It won't make everybody heterosexual. There will be some who are born different. There's people who are born disabled. There's people who's born favoring animals. There's people who are born with funny dysfunctions. Nature is like that. Nature never produced. God does not build in straight lines. There's always going to be imperfections, but it keeps it at a minimum. We keep to the natural rate. We're okay. Yeah. I would like for a world where if you're a sexual deviant, you wake up and say, right, I prefer, I don't know, making love to women's feet. So you go and look for a woman who likes to have her feet made love to. You're gonna fail most of the time, but once in a while you find someone that can match your expected desires. But you don't push it, you don't promote it, because you keep to the natural rate. And you accept that you're gonna fail most of the time to allow heterosexuality to propagate. Yeah. So you accept the failure, but you hope that there might be a success at some point. That's as far as it should go. But to start promoting it, you risk becoming so successful that you go past a certain rate that will bring us to total extinction and annihilation. Yeah, which will cause the collective consciousness to start shifting our reality. Yeah, as we head towards that inevitable end, it will start shifting our reality to, in order to prepare us to understand what we're going to see. Yeah. And obviously we're seeing more of the universe, but we'll start to see less as the population dwindles, and then the last population to see the world will grow old. They won't be producing any new kin, and they'll grow old. They won't be able to look after themselves. They won't have anybody young to look after them, and they'll just die of old age. That's it, just fizzle out. Whatever conversation, whatever excitement you have in your head, all that will fizzle out to nothing. So you must agree to keep yourselves below a certain rate. It's all very well getting excited thinking, oh man, my deviation is so good, I wish everybody will feel this. What could be so wrong with this? Bear in mind there's a certain percentage of deviant behavior that we must not go beyond. This is the threshold of no return. It might not be 50% if you consider everything. And if natural disasters are going to be increasing, if climate change is going to be increasing, then you need as many people as you can, because most of them will be taken up by those things. Now, if we reduce the population of the UK to 700,000, I'm sure climate change, cancers, and all kinds of other pollution that will be gone. That will be gone. That won't last long. Yeah. So enjoy yourselves, but you must understand why you must fail. You must fail so that you can make yourself an opportunity for the future. You fail today so that you can try again tomorrow. Yeah. But if you succeed all the time, there will come a point where we all fail and we all die out. That's all I wanted to add.